So I thought I'd throw a twist into things here. Sitting up at the camper, I know it sound. Got the campfire going to make some sausage, just waiting for the coals to burn down. Thought I'd do a wild and handy campfire story. This one just came to me the other day. I'd forgotten about it for a lot of years. When I was in high school, I'd just gotten my driver's license, and like so many kids, that's a big thing of independence, or it was back in my day, anyways. And I wanted to be the cool guy and take the car to school, because only the cool kids got to take the car to school. So mom wouldn't let me because, well, that's just the way my mom is. She's like, we're going to rack up kilometers on it and it's going to devalue it and you can take the bus and why do we need to waste the money? And, the way mothers are. Anyways, so I had to find a way to convince mom to let me drive the car to school. Finally, the opportunity did show up in the form of a science class trip. So in the science class, we were going to do a trip down to the river to like run nets through and see what we found. And, you look at all the bugs and the minnows and identify the kinds of fish. And I'm like, yeah, I know all this already. But it was an opportunity to drive the car because the science teacher said, who can bring vehicles so that we can all, get to the river to do this trip. And I was like, oh yeah, I can convince mom of this one. So I convinced mom of it and she was like, okay, you can take the car, but you can only go straight to school, down to the river for the class trip, and back to school and home. That's it. And before I left in the morning, she went out to the car and she got a piece of paper and a pen and she wrote down the kilometers. Read the odometer, wrote down the kilometers. I mean, that's fine, no big deal. So I go to class, go drive the car to high school. Honda Accord, 4-door, red. And I'm the cool kid that gets to drive the car to school. We do the class trip was in the morning, first class. So it kind of extended into the second class. It was a little longer than normal period. And we went down the river, did our thing, and then it was lunch break. So we went for a little tour. Because you got the car, you're cool. You're going to go for a tour. And so we went for a tour over lunch, and then we're like, okay, well, now we got to drive the whole thing in reverse. We're going to Ferris Bueller this. Well, just like Ferris Bueller, we found out that didn't work. It's like, oh man, what are we going to do now? Well, what do you do in a situation like that? You can't roll them back. And she's going to know now that you went 26 kilometers over what it was to go from home to the high school, to the river, to the high school, and home again. The only thing we could think of that we came up with was we were going to rack up so many kilometers she'd think she was crazy. So we skipped the afternoon classes and we just drove and we racked up the kilometers like nobody's business. Drove and drove and drove and toured. I don't even know where we went. I don't know what we did, but we just drove. And so I got home at the end of the day and I pulled in the laneway, got out of the car, went in, hung the keys in the little key thing in the front entrance. And mom went out to the car and she looked at the kilometers. And of course I was looking out the window. I'm like, I want to see what she's doing. How's she going to react to this? Well, she looked at the kilometers. She looked at her piece of paper, kind of scratched her head, looked at the kilometers on the piece of paper, looked at the kilometers on the odometer. She came in the house looking kind of confused. Well, where'd you go today? Well, I just went to school and class trip and home. Where else would I have gone? She's like, well, this is off by like hundreds of kilometers. Right? You must have wrote it down wrong, Mom. You definitely got that wrong, Mom. Yeah, I think she probably still thinks she's crazy about that one. No, Mom. I know you're going to watch this, Mom. You're not crazy. That was me. So that's the first edition of Wild and Handy Campfire Stories with Dave.